Hello, my friends. I didn't think the Russian advance would be this fast, but overnight they've managed to push forward significantly and on multiple sections of the front line. The Russians were losing the war, and for a long time the front barely moved. Now, however, they've ramped up production of drones, shells, heavy equipment, and missiles with growing support from their partners. For some reason, Ukraine doesn't seem to have the same resources. This has led to even more areas falling under occupation today. Let's start our frontline update with the Pokrovsk direction. Here, the Russians continue to actively assault Myrolюбivka and the village of Promень, with ongoing battles near Krutый Yar and Lysivka, though no new advances for them here. But just south, it's a disaster. Battles continue for Vishneve, and they are now assaulting Novodmitrivka, making additional gains. Overnight, Russian forces practically took control of Novoselidivka, advancing another 1 kilometer and 800 meters. They are now just 5 kilometers from the Kurakhove reservoir. Soldiers, experts, and even television commentators are openly saying the front is collapsing, with the situation worsening by the day. Still, nothing seems to be changing, and the Russians keep pushing forward in the Kurakhove direction. The Russians have moved 600 meters closer to Katerynivka. Despite Russian claims of having fully captured the village, Ukrainian officials haven't confirmed this. Late last night, Russian military reporters began stating they had reached the outskirts of Kurakhove, with fighting for the city itself already underway, though we are still awaiting confirmation. Regardless, this suggests that the Russian advance shows no signs of slowing. In the Vuhledar direction, the situation is beyond difficult. It seems the Russians have entered open territory with few Ukrainian fortifications and are simply pushing forward. Confirmed reports indicate they've captured Bogoyavlenka, advancing around 6 kilometers in total, including nearby fields. They've also gained partial control over Novoukrainka, pushing forward about 1 kilometer within the town, with even larger territorial gains on nearby fields. Additionally, they've taken half of Shakhtarsk and advanced towards Yasna Polyana, covering another 4.5 kilometers. At this rate, only 22.5 kilometers remain from the current front line to the Dnipropetrovsk region's border. Feel free to share your thoughts on this in the comments. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, the situation remains unchanged, with Russian forces continuing only shelling activity. In the Kherson direction, heavy shelling of the right bank also continues, along with attacks on the islands. However, Russian forces haven't achieved any significant progress here. Now returning to the Toretsk direction, battles for Toretsk continue, with the Russians relentlessly leveling the area to force the Ukrainian forces to retreat. However, the front line remains unchanged with the past day. The Ukrainian forces remind us that just days ago they managed to push back Russian forces here. Amid all the negative news, the successful reclaiming of positions, advancing up to 700 meters in Toretsk, deserves recognition. The Russians have also achieved success in some sections, but the battles for Toretsk are very reminiscent of the struggle in northern Vovchansk. Our soldiers' ability to counterattack on one of the main Russian fronts speaks volume. Azov is strength, they're the best. While a complete clearing of the city may be unlikely, these counterattacks buy valuable time and allow for stronger positioning going forward. In the Chasiv Yar direction, the Russians continue pushing through the canal into the city and storming Stupochki. Shalom remains at maximum intensity, but no changes have been recorded over the past day. In the Siversk direction, the Russians continue shelling Siversk, but haven't launched new assaults. No changes have been recorded over the past day. In the Crimea direction, the Russians, riding on a wave of recent successes, are attempting to break through into Zarichne and are also expanding their controlled territory near Toretsk. The battles for the village of Terne also continue, but here the Ukrainian Armed Forces are holding their line and not retreating, though the situation appears very dire. In the Borova direction, the Russians continue to assault Lozova and Pershotravneva. Shalin also continues along the front line, though they haven't achieved any new gains. To the south, assaults on Kharkiv are ongoing, but here too, the Ukrainian armed forces have managed to repel all attacks, and the situation remains unchanged over the past day. In the Kupiansk direction, the Russians continue their assaults near Slinkivka. Despite the very challenging situation along this section of the front, they have yet to achieve new successes. Further south, the Russians haven't reduced their activity with continued assaults on Kolesnikivka and Krugliakivka, but the front line has held steady over the past day. In the Kharkiv direction, the Russians continue shelling but are not launching new attacks. Fighting is mainly occurring in Vovchansk, where Ukrainian forces have successfully repelled all assaults, keeping their front line stable. In the Kursk direction, the Russians continue to shell Bore settlements, and there were explosions recorded in Sumy again yesterday. It's clear that Russian forces are persistent in their disruption of this territory. However, they have yet to push the Ukrainian armed forces back from the Kursk region, and no significant changes have been observed along the front line of the past day. And that's all from me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.